One of the hardest lessons I've learned in life is that sometimes you have to believe people when they warn you about who they are. Today's game taught me that lesson also applies to video games. So, what did Heatstroke have to say about itself? Heatstroke is barely a game and asks the player to accomplish an absurd feat that is frankly cruel and unusual, it reads in part. Good luck, and God help you. I can speak 3 of my truths about Heatstroke. It warns you exactly what it is going in. I was not prepared for it when I started it, and I'm glad I did it anyways. That's all well and good, but what exactly is Heatstroke? Well, past the disclaimer, you'll load into the game and find yourself behind the wheel of a car. You can do a couple of car things. Jiggle the air freshener, turn on the radio, turn the steering wheel. A bright desert highway stretches in front of you. 2 signs roll into view. Write the effing book, says the first one. Scroll down, reads the next. And thus, the game reveals itself. Scroll down and you'll find a small digital screen with text to type. And type. And type. There is you, there is the road, and there is a book to be written. And in this moment, you are all eternal, timeless, infinite yet infinitesimal. This task is your experience of the game. Eyes on the road, set the car on a good trajectory. Eyes down, write the book. Repeat the process. Rip and tear through the pages until it is done. As you drive, your settings will change slightly over time, giving a sense that you are indeed getting somewhere on your journey. There is a day-night cycle in this game, roughly 15 minutes in length. The night cycle provides one of the only real pauses of what I consider difficulty in the game. There is a period in the night where the sun sinks completely, yet your headlights do not come on immediately. This delay in the headlights coming on is almost imperceptible at first, and seems to get longer as you get deeper into the game. In these moments, totally unable to see the road, I would try to set the car on the safest trajectory possible and hold my breath. A feeling reminiscent of an old superstition I read about in school and started to practice, holding my breath driving past graveyards, hoping no ill would fall on me. When I say that Heatstroke is not a difficult game, I really do mean it. I failed once, about 15 minutes in, and immediately learned what the failure state was. I completed my second attempt. Success in Heatstroke is far more tedious than it is challenging. As long as you have good discipline and check on the road, you should be fine. The car tends to drift in a predictable pattern and not too quickly to account for. You simply have to do the tasks and not give up. And that's the rub with this game. It demands that you experience it on its terms. One sitting, no saving, no checkpoints, no salvation. Pausing the game brings up 2 buttons, unpause and main menu. Underneath main menu reads, your progress is not worth saving. And in the middle of your screen, counting down from 900, a 15-minute timer. This is your grace period. 15 minutes of pause time to step away from the game. No bonus time, no refilling, a single 15-minute pool. I sat and let it count down out of curiosity, and sure enough, if you deplete the timer, the car will continue driving whether you're at the screen or not. Maybe you can see how a trap can be effectively set for yourself if you, like me, make the impulse decision to buy and begin streaming Heatstroke on the spot without reading the Steam page as closely as you should. I was about 3 hours into what was supposed to be a short little stream showcasing a variety of smaller games and demos. Having played the fantastic Perfect Vermin and Swallow the Sea, both roughly 15 to 20 minute experiences, I then browsed the creator's page and found myself saying, surely Heatstroke will be a nice little adventure to round things out. It was about 30 minutes into playing when the calculus of what I'd done started to sink in. I had noticed a chapter mark, and the information it gave me about my progress was not promising. Everything coalesced at once. Limited pausing, no checkpoints, no saving, and I realized immediately, I would never try this again if I didn't finish it this time. And yet I felt strangely compelled to see it through. So I sat and I typed and I steered the car and I narrated the story to my viewers who listened to my voice and the rhythmic clacking of the typing sound effects in the game, which we generally agreed was very calming. haven't talked too much about the story yet, mostly because I don't want to give too much away, and I want to encourage people to experience this story firsthand if they're so inclined. What I can say about the story is that I found it very intriguing and worthwhile, a sort of existential sci-fi piece about longevity, identity, and the phenomenology of being. Or at least that was my interpretation. An earlier version of the game had the player transcribing H.P. Lovecraft's Beyond the Wall of Sleep, and while the new story is a little more sci-fi, it will probably tick similar boxes if you like stories of men becoming demigods and the madness of exceeding human psychology. No more beating around the bush about it. My winning run of Heatstroke took me 2 hours and 47 minutes to finish. From what I gather from other people talking about the game, that's a pretty fast time. I'm a pretty fast typer, over 120 words per minute from a random test I've just taken online, and it definitely got me there faster. No matter how fast you type, though, your typing speed will definitely decline as fatigue sets in. So ultimately, that's what Heatstroke asks of you. 3 to 4 hours of your undivided attention and constant focus, with 15 minutes of grace period to do things in your life that would pull you away from it. If you can't do that, if something comes up, if your concentration lapses and you let your car veer off the road, back to the beginning for you. The disclaimer in the beginning of the game is correct. It is an absurd task, frankly inhumane, and hardly a game. If I had known all that it was going into it, I probably wouldn't have done it. And yet, I came out of it all feeling oddly gratified. Simply reading the story would have been a gratifying artistic experience in its own right. So why did it stick out so much more in my mind when I felt I was being taken hostage by my own sunken cost fallacy to have to complete it in one go? I think it's just a particular type of challenge that resonates with some people. Something that doesn't require extraordinary skill or study or knowledge. Something where you simply have to sit down and write the book. There's an element, too, of feeling like you're bringing the story to life yourself, channeling it into existence. It's one thing to take in a story passively, one that presents itself to you. A story that demands your constant action and input to continue it. It's hard to describe, but there's something almost meditative about the rote nature of the task while taking in the story delivered to you. In the end, can I recommend Heatstroke? I think it's very reasonably priced. Normally $1.99 and, at the time of writing, down to 99 cents for the Steam sale. If you like weird existential stories and absurd tests of willpower, it just might be right up your alley. Just know what you're getting into going in, and go into it with a clear mind and a stiff upper lip. Or tell your friend you'll buy them a game if they stream it to everybody in Discord and surprise them with Heatstroke. Have a laugh at everyone's expense. I joke, but I actually do think it's a unique experience for streamers and content creators, and worth considering for something different. If you're a curious type that wants to get really drawn into a story, in a way you've never been before, I also recommend it. Thanks for hanging out and listening to me talk about this game. Maybe you found a new one you'll enjoy for yourself. In addition to more videos coming to the YouTube soon, I also stream quite a variety of games over at twitch.tv/adnoctummedia. If you'd like to hang out and chat while I play who knows what else, we'd love to have you over there. And of course, the usual follows, likes, and comments on YouTube are always appreciated. Until we see you again, take care, everyone.